Hey guys, how y'all doing today? My name is Franchise Fanatic and welcome back to the channel. And today, if you guys, is another Star Wars movie review. Today we're tackling the last film in the Skywalker Saga, Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker. Now this is a cool little steelbook I got. Kylo Ren, Supreme Leader Kylo Ren, and Rey Skywalker, Rey Palpatine. And, I just want to say that I think... I gave The Force Awakens an A+, Last Jedi an A+, of course, and this film I'm probably going to give an A+, too. I think it's pretty obvious. In terms of negatives or nitpicks, I would say that there are a few moments. I think there's one moment where, what's her face? Zori Bliss, she kind of says, Poe Dameron says, "Who's that flyer?" That's really weird. It's just, I don't like that line, "Who's that flyer?" It doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. I mean, it makes sense because she's flying an X-Wing, but, he should have said, "Who's that?" Or, "Is that?" Not just, "Who's that flyer?" It's like, "Who's that Pokemon?" I don't know. I don't like that. And then Zori Bliss says to Poe on Kijimi, "No, I don't believe you believe that." I think that's saying "believe" twice in that sentence is just weird. Grammatically, it should have said, "I know you don't believe that," or "No, I know you don't believe that." That would have been better than, "I don't believe you believe." It's just, I don't know, whatever. But other than those two nitpicks, this is a flawless conclusion to the Skywalker Saga. Not only a conclusion of the sequels, but also, like I said, the main 9 films. And, it's really quite freaking awesome what they were able to do. The Episode 1 Anakin, he says, "Oh, there's the big problem with the galaxy is that no one helps each other." And in this film, the whole galaxy rises up to help each other. The fact that, Anakin turned the dark side to save Padme, thinking he would save her, but really the only way to save a life is to give yourself to that other person. Again, I say it all the time, they pull a Jesus, or they pull a Zane from Ninjago Season 3. Ben Solo gives his life to save Rey Palpatine, Rey Skywalker, and that is the Ben Solo's death in this film is flawless. And any other, if he lived, or if any other way that would have happened, it would have made zero friggin' sense, because he is a murderer. Yeah, I guess he's good now, but no one in the galaxy is gonna, he'd probably be hung or something. It wouldn't work. So having, Kylo Ren or Ben Solo die saving Rey is probably the best conclusion I could have had. I think Luke Skywalker being back in this film is awesome. Again, a lot of people were like, "Oh, it's a retcon." Nothing in this film retcons The Last Jedi or The Rise of the Force Awakens. Period. That again, it doesn't. It just doesn't. Because you see in The Last Jedi, again, I keep saying this, but Kylo telling Rey, "You're a nobody. Your parents sold you for drinking money." Technically, Kylo told the truth. There were nobody. Palpatine, Palpatine's son, a failed clone of himself, he just let live. Probably the one merciful thing that he ever did in his life. And, then we get Rey. But, you see that evolution of that character in really awesome ways. But, going back to that scene, Kylo telling Rey, your parents are nobodies, they sold you, whatever. Technically, it's true, but he also distorted the truth to, again, take advantage of Rey's emotional state. And, that's a great scene. I think Luke saying to the audience and Rey that, I'm wrong. I was wrong in The Last Jedi. He doesn't say that. I was wrong in the last movie. But he says, I was wrong. Fear kept me here. Don't do what I do. And that's another thing. Rey is, again, not a Mary Sue. And we see a bunch of times in this movie. She thinks that she murders Chewbacca. She's afraid of her own powers. She gets told she's a Palpatine. And what does she do? She freaking hee-haws it all over to Octo and says, she burns Kylo Ren's, TIE interceptor or whatever. She's throwing logs, and she's like, "F this." She takes a lightsaber, about to throw it. Luke catches it. Force Ghost. He says, "What are you doing?" The perfect way, like a Jedi's weapon deserves more respect. That is not retconning The Last Jedi. That's not a big middle finger to Rian Johnson. That is literally character progression. Idiots on the internet, you freaking morons. It's not him saying, "Oh, that movie, here's the real Luke." No, it was always the real Luke. And this version right here is him saying, "Look, I was wrong. A Jedi's weapon is just more..." If anything, that line is supposed to be kind of funny. It's supposed to be a whimsical and lighthearted version of Luke telling Rey, "I learned my lesson." It's not just, "Oh, the last movie, no one liked me, so I'm good now." That's not how it happened at all. I think a lot of people, again, when they don't understand something, they hate it. And, I can understand. I can understand if you just watch the main 9 films or whatever, you're like, "Wait, how the fudge is Palpatine back? He freaking died in Return of the Jedi." There's a lot of things that could have happened that way, but, again, Star Wars, especially at this point when this film came out, you need to know what's up. If you don't know what the fudge is going on, and I'm not saying you need to read every book, every comic, play every game, watch every show, but it helps. and it gives you a fuller picture. You know, a more full picture. When you read the Rise of Skywalker book, the visual dictionary, there are so many really good details in those books. And I don't consider that lazy writing because it's not like, oh, well, we don't know what the hell's going to happen. Just write it in the book that's going to come out in 2 months. I can understand that point of view, you know, oh, just wait for the book. But I do think that, you know, that is... I don't have a problem with it because I don't mind buying a book and reading it. You know, I mean, if anything, it just fleshes out the canon and the world and makes me love, you know, the world of Star Wars even more. But the end battle scene, man, Kylo and Rey on Kef Bir is the quintessential and the best lightsaber fight of all time. Period, in my opinion. You know, I love a lot of them. I love them all except for this one in Attack of the Clones and Obi-Wan doing the very tiny twirl in A New Hope. Those ones are trash. However, everything else is freaking awesome. And this one takes the cake. You know, I mean, I do say the Last Jedi Praetorian Guard throne room fight is better, but I don't consider that a lightsaber fight because it's, you know, Kylo and Rey are fighting together, not fighting each other. This film, they are fighting each other. And for all the morons again on the internet saying, oh, Rey's a Mary Sue because she beat Kylo in The Force Awakens. Well, this is literally proving them wrong. Saying, look, Rey... is not emotionally balanced as she was in The Force Awakens. Kylo Ren is. And we quite clearly see if Leia didn't intervene, which again is a fantastic death scene, you're just seeing in general, you know, Kylo Ren would have killed Rey. But going back to Leia for a second, I think that this film, regarding the CGI, this movie has the best CGI I've probably seen in a Star Wars film, and really in any film ever. The Battle of Exegol looks photorealistic at times. In fact, at all times it looks photorealistic. The only thing that doesn't stand out too much is Maz Kanata. Apparently, I didn't know this, but apparently, I knew in The Force Awakens she's CGI, right? Lupita Nyong'o, whatever, the black girl from some of those horror films. She played her. She did a great job. She had all the dots on her face. But, you know, then you compare Maz to Last Jedi, which again was CGI. She was barely in it. And then you get The Rise of Skywalker, where apparently I just got a Star Wars book from Barnes & Noble like a few days ago, and I read it, and it said that Maz Kanata is a robot, like, you know, like a robotic puppet thing, kind of like a Disney World type thing. I don't see it, you know. I think the mouth is CGI, but it always stood out to me as kind of weird looking. Like, that doesn't look as good as The Force Awakens, and I guess that's why. Apparently, she was a dummy or like a robot in this film, which is pretty freaking cool. But the CGI regarding Leia, I think, you know, Carrie Fisher passed away in 2016, and you know, thankfully she filmed all her scenes for The Last Jedi, but The Rise of Skywalker she did not. So, you know, they're kind of stuck with, well, how the fudge do we, you know, how do we conclude her character? And I even said on the channel, I think they should have started the film off with her funeral. She just dies off screen, and there you go. It's not satisfying, but it's what are you gonna have to do? She died, you know. And this film proved me wrong, and everyone else probably wrong. I think there are scenes where she's interacting with Rey, or, you know, Chewbacca or whoever, and it looks like she's like, if you didn't know that Carrie Fisher died and she was still alive and kicking and making these films, you wouldn't have doubted that. There's no blurriness, there's no weirdness. The shots where they're interacting, you know, there's a few shots where, of course, you know, she's in silhouette, or you see the back of her, or just like, you know, torso, neck down or whatever. But it looks, again, very freaking good. And compared to what they, you know, could have done, which is, oh, well, she died or whatever. You know, they could have done so many bad things, and they honored her by, you know, having not only Luke die in the best way I can imagine, but having Leia die as well. Because Leia, ever since The Force Awakens, you know, saying, you know, there's still good and there's still light in Kylo, there's still light in Ben. And even in The Last Jedi, she kind of gives up hope and says, you know, I know my son's gone. And Luke says, no one's ever really gone. Kind of, again, kickstarting Leia back on that route of you know, hope, which kickstarted the whole Skywalker saga back in 1977. It's the fourth film, but you get the idea. So, with that being said, Leia's death scene, you know, reaching out to Ben, all she said is Ben, and that was enough. No, I get, you know, some people online are like, oh, she said Ben, because then, you know, she wanted Rey to kill him. No, that's not what happened. Leia didn't connect to Ben to say, Rey, take advantage, just stab him in the chest. That's not what happened. She took advantage of the Force and literally sacrificed herself to reach out to Ben one more time, just to remind him that there's someone else in the galaxy that loves him unconditionally. And of course, Rey takes that advantage and just F's him up. But that whole scene, man, the Kef Bir fight, Rey healing Kylo, you know, healing the you know, stomach wound and his face scar, Harrison Ford coming back to play Han Solo in like a literal retread of the Force Awakens scene where he dies. Freaking flawless. I cry every time. I don't really cry at really anything in films. In fact, the only thing I cried is Ninjago, oddly, but I did cry. I'll admit it. I'm a man. I cried, but I wasn't like bawling, like I wasn't like that. But I was kind of, I teared up a bit, and I always do every time, man. Adam Driver's a effing good actor. Everyone in this film's a good actor, really. But yeah, I mean that whole scene, man, and just from there, the Exegol fight, Rey versus Palpatine. Palpatine coming back makes perfect sense. I think it's awesome. The Knights of Ren are really cool. They're not in it a whole lot, but for when they are in it, I think it's really neat. Finn has a great, character arc where, along with Poe, there's one line where Rose says, "Oh, Leia made you acting general." So again, that's tying into The Last Jedi, where, again, this film doesn't negate or delete anything in the last film, as much as the fake fans and the fandom menace will want you to believe that this film, erases The Last Jedi. It doesn't. It complements everything in that film. It just makes it better and cooler. But we do see that, Poe's character arc in that film was, who does he want to go for? And of course we see that he finds out that he wants to be a general. He makes Finn co-general. And, we also see Finn literally taking the ex-stormtroopers on Kef Bir and rising up against the battle of the First Order, or the Final Order, on Exegol. And everything in that battle is awesome. Lando Calrissian is badass, shooting at the crossbow, and you see a little blood spurt come out of the stormtrooper's eye. That was cool. Extremely violent, but cool for Star Wars. The Star Wars, again, in my opinion, it's not for children, so it makes sense. But, people are always like, "Oh my God, Anakin's burning alive! He just got shot in the face! That guy's head just cut off! The children!" It's like, it's not for children. I don't know what you were expecting. If it was for children, it'd be Care Bears and, "What's 2 + 2? Correct! Just stupid stuff like that. This film is not the most violent, but it is the most intense for sure. Palpatine coming back, very effing scary looking. The fact that he has no pupils and he has the missing digits on his fingers, and then when he kind of sucks the dyad between Rey and Ben, he literally grows his fingers back, and his eyes, his pupils come back. He's kind of literally being reborn. Because the clone husk of a body that's connected to all those tubes and the MRI crap they got going on, that is really not Palpatine. That's just a cloned body of Palpatine with Palpatine's dark Force energy inside of it. And the fact that, he's extremely weak. And that's another reason why Rey is able to kill him with the 2 lightsabers kind of rebounding the lightning back in his face, is because he's extremely weak. And, he was about to become all-powerful if Rey died. If Ben and Rey and the whole Resistance died, Palpatine would have won for sure. But, I think it was really good timing. And of course, I can't forget to think about the Be With Me scene. That freaking scene is amazing. Hearing all the Jedi, hearing Anakin say, "Bring back the balance," as I did, quite clearly admitting in canon that Anakin was the chosen one, and he did bring back peace. Rey is simply bringing it back again. It's fantastic stuff. Liam Neeson's in there, Mace Windu's in there, or Qui-Gon Jinn's in there, Mace Windu's in there, Yoda, Anakin, Kanan Jarrus, I think Adi something from the Clone Wars. There's a bunch of people. Obi-Wan, prequel and original Obi-Wan, very cool stuff. And the whole, "I am all the Sith, I am all the Jedi" is one of the coolest moments in cinema. I do think the "I am all the Jedi" is better than "I am Iron Man." I know people are like, "Oh, they copied," but I don't know. I don't really care. I think it's a better scene. Now, I love Endgame, in terms of a conclusion type thing, but I do think that The Rise of Skywalker is the best ending I could have ever imagined for the end of the sequels and the end of the Skywalker saga. This is, I think, without a doubt in my mind, as much as I do love Ninjago more, but I do think that the Skywalker saga is the best set of films, best, saga of films ever made, period. It's just the amount of love and care and work, the fact that you can watch the prequels and then the originals, and it makes sense given that they came out backwards. The sequels connect perfectly to the originals and the sequels. Nothing doesn't make sense. Everything makes sense if you really think about it and read the material and know the canon and just know Star Wars. Everything makes sense. Everything is outstanding in this film. Again, a few lines, "Who's that flyer?" I don't believe you believe that. That's kind of wonky. But other than that, I do think this is a flawless end to the Skywalker saga. Everything, I really could not have imagined anything going that, yes, Finn could have been a Jedi, this and that. I don't review films on what could have been, because that's fan fiction. I review films on what we see, what was actually produced and made and directed and edited and put out in the theaters. And what we got, I am, completely and utterly satisfied with what we got, for sure. This is a fantastic thing. Rey Skywalker, I know everyone bitched online, "Oh, Rey's stealing! Rey stole the name!" I mentioned that before. People online are just retarded. I think we can all agree that they're just completely stupid. They're useless, half of them. But Rey Palpatine, I can't speak today. Rey Palpatine is very much who she is, right? It's not like she's going through legalities and she's signing waivers to be a Skywalker. Look, none of that's happening, right? And she also didn't steal the name because, again, people are dumb and they don't think. Literally in the canon book for the movie, it literally states that Luke and Leia give her permission to use the name Skywalker. And in the film, you see her look to the left and see the Force ghost of Luke and Leia, and they both nod and they smile, giving her permission. It's okay, you can use the name. So Rey burying the lightsabers on Tatooine, also that is not a big FU to Anakin and Luke, because Anakin hated sand. Anakin did not hate grains of sand. He hated what those grains of sand meant, right? He doesn't like. It's not like Anakin goes to a beach on Kashyyyk and is like, "Oh my God, sand!" You know what I mean? It's not like a mental block kind of thing. You know what I mean? He's not going to go in the corner and start shaking because he sees sand. You know what I mean? He doesn't hate sand. He hates what the sand represents. And the fact that Rey was able to bury the lightsabers in the sand, essentially christening and bringing new life to Tatooine for the better, is the best way I could have seen that happening. That's flawless. Rey choosing the name Skywalker is also flawless because, as Luke says, some things are stronger than blood. You know what I mean? She literally killed her past in the most, bestest way possible. I think it's a fantastic ending. Rey Skywalker is canon. It will always be canon, and it is the best ending I could ever imagine. Again, some people wanted Rey Nobody. That wouldn't have made sense. Rey Palpatine, that also wouldn't have made sense. The only thing that would have made sense is Rey Skywalker. Because, I'm just Rey. Because if she's just Rey, then this entire trilogy and her entire arc of wanting to belong to someone important means completely nothing. It's just, why even bother? Why make the trilogy? That's the whole point. You know what I mean? It's one of the whole points. Rey Palpatine, again, the last thing you want is to be associated with the most evil person in the galaxy. That's kind of a shitty thing to do. And then you also have the Skywalker, which is, again, the most, that name, especially with what Luke did in The Last Jedi on Crate, it literally means, hope. Skywalker now means hope to the galaxy, and Rey becoming a Skywalker or using the name Skywalker isn't just, she's now a Skywalker. She is essentially becoming the next generation of hero. People are looking up to Rey now as, one of the best people in the galaxy, because she defeated her lineage. She defeated evil in, the most passive-aggressive way. For the most part, she never stabs anyone. That's what I'm trying to say. She's not like, she's not like cutting off heads and stuff. She's kind of redirecting the blaster bolts, that kind of thing. She redirects the lightning, because if Rey did straight up strike him down, she would have became Empress, which is another great scene I'll quickly touch upon. I think the Death Star 2 having that little chamber with Empress Palpatine, I guess, with Rey Palpatine, with like the weird teeth. A lot of people again are like, the weird teeth, that makes no sense. But it actually does make sense, because when you go into a dark side area like the cave on Dagobah or the little black butthole looking thing on Ahch-To, you do see that the dark side of the Force distorts and kind of jacks you up in a lot of ways, as we see Palpatine in Episode 3. His face gets all jacked up looking from the lightning. And we do see that, Rey, in The Empire Strikes Back, when Luke goes to the cave on Dagobah, he beheads Vader and he sees himself in the mask. A vision or a warning of what could happen. And Rey sees herself with a double-bladed lightsaber, which looks pretty badass, with some awesome teeth. And she's still looking sexy, but she is, literally telling not the audience, but telling Rey, don't be afraid of who you are. Embrace your evil. So again, she's getting all these mixed messages and all that. Kylo Ren's telling her, no, you're evil. Again, she's scared, and finally she conquers her fear and wins the day. And I think, I have to mention the lesbian kiss, because I know someone's going to bring it up, and it was a big controversy. I'm straight, so I don't, you do you. I don't give a shit, whatever. Does it belong in the film? It's kind of random and kind of weird. It's kind of cringy, if I'm going to be honest. It's just kind of, that's in there, but hey, if you're that way, whatever, it is what it is. But again, it doesn't break anything. It's not like I hate this film, but it's, for me, it's whatever. I don't care. It's just like a 2-second shot. I think the controversy was kind of overblown, but I do think that overall, this is just a fantastic film. I really do love it. Again, like I said, the one or two lines thing, I don't really call them negatives, because they're not like objectively bad lines. They're just kind of like weird to me. I would have just rewrote that a little differently, but I'm going to give The Rise of Skywalker an A+. Again, I'm not biased. I truly, truly believe that this trilogy is perfect. One or two line things, but other than that, I think this is a great trilogy. For sure, it's my favorite trilogy of all time. And to end the Skywalker saga off on a positive note is always great. Again, Lego Star, by the time you're seeing this, I'm assuming Lego Star, this will probably be uploaded on the 5th. which means Lego Star Wars The Skywalker Saga is out, and I will be playing it. Again, how this is going to work, so I'm going to play an episode or two, depending on how quickly or short it takes me. I'll see, and then I will review it, or, play it on my base Xbox One. We'll see how it works. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But, we'll see. And I got hope. So, I can't wait for this freaking game, man. It's been 3-4 years, whatever. It's been such a long time. Countless delays, countless bad communication, bad marketing, horrible PR. I mean, it was like the worst gaming wait ever. And then we had crunch at TT Games, apparently. It's just been a freaking mess. But apparently the game's getting good reviews. Again, I don't trust, most Lego games get 6s and 7s anyway. I end up freaking loving them. Call of Duty gets a 10. Because you shoot terrorists in the face. Lego Movie 2, or Lego DC Supervillains gets a 7 or whatever, because it's Lego. That's how reviews work. But apparently this game's getting good reviews, so that's good. But I can't wait, man. Hopefully I'll get the deluxe edition. I don't know, but the game's going to be insane to play. I can't wait to do it. And, the Skywalker Saga is fantastic. I really had a lot of fun reviewing this saga and film franchise. I am going to review Solo, Rogue One, and the Clone Wars film, because you guys wanted that. Plus normally when I rewatch them all, I do watch 1 to 12, so that, I don't got a problem with it. But, yeah, man, this has been such a great franchise to, watch again and again. And to end the Skywalker Saga off on a fantastic film like The Rise of Skywalker is very much something that I'm very, grateful that they even made it work. The fact that Leia's, everything this entire saga works and clicks and makes sense if you think about it. So again, I hope you guys enjoyed this little review. Tell me in the comments down below what you think about The Rise of Skywalker. What's your favorite lightsaber fight, and what's your favorite part of the film? My favorite part would probably be I Am All the Jedi, or the Kefir fight between Kylo and Rey. Still, great film, great franchise, and I cannot wait to play Lego Star Wars The Skywalker Saga. Thank you guys, and we'll see you in the next video.